You're sitting on the couch, you're watching TV, and your life is passing you by. You keep procrastinating over and over. Well, maybe I'll go to school next year, maybe next semester. No, do it right now. They'll work with you after work, or you can go before work. You can do whatever you need to do to graduate. Go talk to somebody right now. They out to help you. You spend all day on the phone anyhow. Why don't you make a phone call that's gonna help you in your future? All you gotta do is pick up the phone and make the call. Why are you making it complicated? It's easy.
And welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to start this new series called Speak On It with Sky Sade. So I did a poll on my Instagram and asked a few of my followers what they would like to discuss in an upcoming TED Talk topic type video, because unbeknownst to them, we're starting this new series. And a couple of them gave me some interesting topics, and some of the other topics I kind of improvised, but that's my business. Okay, so the first topic is going to be self-care. So this is the thing with self-care. Self-care comes in many different ways depending on the person. Self-care could be you going out to the gym, taking care of your body. Self-care could be you being like me, wanting to get your nails done, wanting to get your lashes done, your hair done, a haircut. Or self-care could just be doing anything to you that makes you feel good, whatever that may be. But this is the thing as well, which we're going to get into in a later topic today. But you have to be careful with that, because it's a thin line between spending money that you don't have and enjoying the fruits of your labor. Do not get those two things confused, because that could be the end all be all, especially if you're also a person like me who wants or still struggles with learning how to save your money, manage your money, things like that. With self-care, it is very important to take care of self, because in order to produce and be the best version of yourself, you have to feel like the best version of yourself. So doing whatever that is that makes you feel good is necessary. By no means is necessary. However, do not mishap self-care with overly spending or trying to keep up with what you saw on social media. You seeing such and such with the latest Gucci, Louis, Prada. You feel like you gonna spend money you don't have and call it self-care. That's not what that means. Or buying the most expensive 30-inch wig for like $300-400, knowing that you really don't have it, and calling it self-care, or with the mindset of, oh, I'm gonna just make it back. Yes, it's true that you can make it back, but why spend all your money on that when you can add to it? You know what I'm saying? And now, I'm not telling y'all to dumb down y'all taste. I'm not telling y'all to go from Walmart to Great Value. I'm not telling y'all that. I'm just telling you all to, have a healthy balance, and be realistic with yourself. You know what the difference between self-care and just overspending is. So take care of yourself. Do what makes you feel good. If that includes running in the morning, going out for a run before you get your day started, I heard that that's a great way to get your day started, get your blood pumping. Or if every other week when you get paid, or if you get paid weekly, you lucky, but every other week when you get paid, maybe, going out and getting your nails done, going to get a massage, going and getting your hair done. If you feeling like you've been looking a little busted, because I definitely went through that before, where I was definitely natural nookie, no wig, no lashes, no nails, like bare. But sometimes that's needed, because you have to learn as time goes on that, short-term sacrifices for long-term success. The older you get, you'll start realizing that, and you'll start understanding that when you don't have none of that stuff, you'll live. So it's definitely a want, not a necessity, but take care of yourself at the very least. The next thing, this was a highly recommended topic. I don't know who hurt y'all, and I'm finna find them, but listen, come talk to auntie. Getting over a heartbreak. Oh, this a little deep, y'all. I don't even know, like, cause personally, I don't even know if I've necessarily been like heartbroken, but I've definitely been like disappointed for sure. Cause like when you talking to somebody and y'all like, I guess, start dating or whatever the case may be, of course we're expecting it to last and we expecting it to go far. You planning out a whole future with this person, like the wedding, the kids, the house, the dog, all that stuff. And then like when it don't work for whatever reason, you gotta like start over, you gotta meet new people, gotta date again, it's a lot. But I would say this, like, with every situation you go through, it's not gonna last long. It's not gonna last forever. Like, I will honestly say that, because the times where I've been kind of like, damn, like it didn't work out, I'll probably be in that mode like 1 or 2 days, and then life goes on, like, in a nutshell. And not to be insensitive, but it does, like, and a lot of times you have to keep in mind that you over there stressed out, sick, falling off by this man or this woman, and they is living their life and they're moving forward. And you gotta look at it like this: although it was time invested and time sort of wasted, be glad that God got you out of it when he did. Because imagine people who get married and then stay together 10, 20, 30 years and then decide later on that they want to get a divorce. After you done invested 20, 30, 40 years into somebody. I know people that have gotten divorced after 40 years of marriage. Like, now you get it? You know what I'm saying? Like, so be happy that, okay, those little couple of months, those little few years before marriage or whatever, y'all got out of there. Because imagine if you would have given way more of your time to somebody and it hadn't worked out. I would have felt like that was an even bigger loss. Like, I done gave you all this time in my life just to have to start over. Like, no. And then too, you have to look at it like, what is God trying to tell you? Like, if y'all don't work out, clearly that person was not meant for you. Now, I'm not saying people who go through stuff, break up, and get back together. No. People who are like really done. Like, whether it was come from cheating, whether it came from just y'all growing apart. That's what life is about. Because as a human, as a functioning and growing human, we're supposed to elevate. We're supposed to grow as a person. And sometimes, unfortunately, we grow apart from the people who we wanted to grow with. And that's okay. That just means that God has someone even better in store for you. And he needed to get he or she out of y'all way so that y'all real husband and that y'all real wife can find y'all. And that's it. It may hurt for a minute. You may be down. That might have been your first love, your college, your high school sweetheart. That might have been who you really thought that you was going to spend the rest of your life with. But majority of us are still young. And we know that we got plenty of life ahead of us. And not saying that it can't happen, because it's happened in earlier generations. But majority of the time, who we think that we're going to end up with is not who we end up with. If y'all ask me, auntie on her 5th life, I done been to death do us part with her. Hey, get out my business. But auntie on her 5th life. It's okay to start over. It's okay to reinvent yourself. And don't look at it like it was you, because it may not have even been your fault. Look at it like, how can you grow from this? What can you learn from this situation? And take it to your next situation and do better there. Simple. The next topic, y'all. This is a big one. A big one. Removing procrastination. A man once told me procrastination kills the dream. Listen, it's so many of y'all, so many of us that want to do so much, want to do so many things, but you doubt in yourself. You let outside opinions get in your ear. You let somebody else project their fears onto you, telling you what you can't do, telling you that you can't do 5, 6, 7, 8 different things. Listen, if you want to do 6, 7 different things, do it. You want this major, you want this side hustle, you want this business, you want this part-time job, you want to be in college, you want to do this, you can do it. Take it from me. At my prime, before I even turned 18, I was a college student, full-time, still am, working full-time, and running 4 businesses, all at the same time. You don't know real hard-working dedication to when you having to be at work until midnight and you got 2 or 3 assignments due that same night before 11:59, and you have orders that you're trying to put together or customers that you're trying to respond to all at the same time. You having to dip back into the back office, turn in your work, respond to messages, do your other stuff, and still get back to work. Listen, don't come to me and tell me what you can't do. Don't tell me what's too hard. Don't tell me about what somebody else told you that didn't work for them. Listen, everybody's walk, everybody's journey is going to be different. What I went through and what works for me may not be what you go through and what works for you. And just because it didn't work for me, doesn't mean it won't work for you. Y'all got to stop trying to compare what y'all got going on to other people. And another thing, stop letting people get into your ear and tell you what you can and can't do. Because last time I checked, it was only one God. And that's just that. Whatever is meant for you will be for you. And that's just it. That's the same thing with me and my businesses. Everybody knows that I took a break from my businesses around the time I started college. Was that something that I regret? Sort of. Because one thing I will also learn about that procrastination, that once you stop, it is so hard to get back into that momentum. And the same thing I tell people when they graduate high school and be like, I'm going to take a little break for a year or 2, then go to college. No. Go while you're still in that momentum of being in school. For those 12 years, keep going. Because once you take that break, it is so hard to get back into it. And you have every excuse on why you can't, why you got to wait, why you can do it at a later time. No, do it now. Do it now. What that man from Everest said, if you're sitting at home on the couch watching TV and your life is passing you by, but no, y'all, like, that was our earliest representation of removing procrastination. Like, literally, if you want something, go and get it. Do not let nobody tell you what you can't do. And listen, there's a saying that says, comparison is the biggest thief of joy. Don't compare with nobody else, because you don't know what they did to get there, good or bad. And you don't know, listen. Focus on you. Decide what it is you want to do, what direction you want to go, how you want to get there, and configure a plan to do so. Don't rush yourself. Don't rush the process. And don't be too hard on yourself. Because a lot of y'all be, me included, be too focused on what we don't got, what we haven't done yet, to really just sit back and realize what the hell you have done, what you have accomplished. Like, y'all need to start giving yourself a pat on the back and start speaking life into yourself, because your thoughts become reality. If you always thinking negative, if you always beating on yourself, if you always in a sunken place, waiting on your 13th reason, you're going to always be there. And that's just the facts. If you think positivity, if you breathe life into yourself, if you breathe life into others, and you got this aura around you, listen, even... this is the one time auntie gonna give y'all the green light to fake it till you make it. Because that's a sort of manifestation when it comes to, even if you ain't necessarily feeling it inside to be positive, but even if you pushing through it and you faking it till you making it and you still speaking it, it eventually will manifest and it will come. Like, the tongue is a powerful thing. I don't think y'all realize that. So let that sizzle in y'all spirit. And we're going to move on to the next topic. Y'all, this is the last and the final topic, financial freedom. Listen, we spoke about this kind of around the first topic. Y'all have to really sit back and decide what direction y'all want to go with y'all life. Do you want the little house on the prairie? Do you want the big house on the hill? And understand this. Whoever is more simpler or who wants the more finer things in life, that does not define you as a person. That doesn't mean one is better than the other. That doesn't mean one is more humble than the other. That just simply goes back to preferences and the life that you want for yourself. Me personally, I've always been exposed to the finer things in life. That's just what I'm used to. So I'm not, a very simple person. I like luxury. I like the finer things. I like to try new things. I like more experiences. I'm not no simple-minded person. Teach me how to do that. Take me here. I want to go there. How do you do that? What is this? I ask questions. I acquire to learn things. Things like that. But I also can respect and have a certain level of admiration for more simpler and minimalistic people. Like, I wish that I could be one of those people who don't care, to have certain things. Don't care to spend money on certain things. Just don't care about a lot of materialistic and, finer things. And not to say that those people don't have taste or, desire good quality items. They just are not overly focused on those things. And we could argue that they may have a bit of a better financial background. It just depends. But it also, when financial freedom, it comes with discipline and maturity. I'm going to have a little truth moment with y'all. When I turned 18, I got my first credit card. Did not know what I was doing. It was a secure credit card. You couldn't tell me nothing. I'm thinking I'm hot. So I got that credit card. It's easy to swipe. It's easy to spend it. But when it's time to pay that bill at the end of the month, that's when reality kicks in. And it wasn't until recently, y'all, I'll be 20 in October. It wasn't until recently that recently as in the last month or so, really acquired the knowledge when it comes to credit. And you can argue however you want about having the actual cash and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But that credit can open doors that money cannot. And if I have the option between paying $0 down and $500,000, listen, I'm telling y'all, that credit is another thing. And I feel like, especially in the Black community, those type of, financial literacy topics and, just learning credit and learning financial freedom and learning how to save and learning how to do this and that, those are not taught to us often. This is something that's not even really taught in school. I'm not a business finance major or accounting major. Maybe they're getting taught that in college. But personally, yeah, that's something that you have to learn through experience and that you have to learn with trial and error, as you can see. But I will honestly say that when I paid my credit card bill and I seen my credit score go up 38 points, that's how you know when you really grown. That did something for me. And I had set a certain goal that by this time I want to be at this score. And even when it comes to saving, my first experience really saving for real, was when I was saving for my car. Before then, I didn't have no bill but a phone bill. I was just spending it like crazy, on gifts for people, on myself, because you don't have no real responsibilities. And it isn't until you have more responsibilities that you can really start to see what some of our parents was trying to tell us, as far as, hey, look, I ain't got it right now. And sometimes I ain't got it don't mean you have zero. It just means that the money that I do have is not for me to spend. And however you go about saving your money, it's totally dependent on the person. For instance, when I first started saving, I would spend whatever I had to on bills on my car, like phone bill, car note, car insurance, credit card, whatever the case may be, on my card. And the money I was trying to save, I would take it off my car and put it up into a little lock box or something like that, because I knew that if it was on my card, it was going to get spent. Because I was more of an online shopper and a swiper, things like that. Now, fast forward, I've opened a savings and I've kind of been more disciplined with it. And you know, there's perks to having just money on your card and not just having to always use cash and, you know, things like that. But my point is, understand you. Understand, you know, how it is you function, how it is you work. And understand what works best for you. And again, this is another thing where, you know, everybody is different. You can take tips and things like that from other people, but figure out what works for you and stick to it. You have to really be disciplined. You gotta go without getting that wig. Go without buying those dunks. Go without hanging out every weekend. Pick up some extra shifts at work. You know, when you have these long-term goals, that's when that short-term sacrifice comes in that we were speaking about earlier. And you'll see that, listen, when you start accomplishing those goals and you start meeting those milestones, listen, the feeling is indescribable. And with that, that's the conclude of this video. Stay tuned for the next one. All right, y'all.